Alright, welcome to another episode of Crypto in Africa, and of course this channel is dedicated to news, education and everything regarding cryptocurrency and blockchain in Africa and in the world and vice versa. So today's article is just about all you need to know regarding the 2020 Bitcoin halving event and how it will actually affect the price of Bitcoin, because we all know that we in the cryptocurrency industry, or market rather, have our own fundamentals that happen, and those actually always affect the prices, right? Just like the same with forex trading, how we know that some sort of certain announcements by presidents, by governments, by central banks largely impact currencies. Same with Bitcoin and same with cryptocurrency, but in the case of Bitcoin, it's the halving event. So like the first paragraph of the article points out that the Bitcoin community is set to witness another Bitcoin halving event next year. The anticipation of the May 2020 event is now over the charts, given the previous history of the particular Bitcoin event. Bitcoin halving, for those of you who don't know, is actually an event that happens from time to time which splits Bitcoin reward by 50%. This means that after the Bitcoin halving, the reward for mining the biggest cryptocurrency will be divided into two. So that's how it always happens. And of course, Bitcoin halving events happen every 4 years. So the last one was actually in 2016. And why it actually happens every 4 years, it's basically because for every 210,000 blocks that are mined, it's sort of like, you could say it completes some sort of cycle, right? And then then you have to have the reward, the mining reward, or the reward for mining rather. So that's basically it. And yeah, and this greatly, like the article heading states, that it greatly affects the price of Bitcoin. So how does it happen? That's one way, usually leading towards the halving event. You start noticing either a flat market, or maybe a slightly bullish market, but basically that's where it starts. And if you can actually trace back in the previous previous years graphs, right, of Bitcoin, you can see that, especially like 2016, there's something that happened there. 4 years before that, also 2012, there's something that happened. So it's basically about that all the time, right? With any sort of like huge announcements of a certain cryptocurrency project, in this case, of course, Bitcoin, there's always a huge price affected. Maybe it goes up, sometimes it goes low. It depends on what the news is, basically, right? And of course, this always comes with some sort of criticism from the so-called financial experts, and maybe they are, but it doesn't mean that since you've been in finance for so much, right, and you haven't really been exposed to the technological side of things, doesn't mean that your knowledge of what finance is all about overrides of what people think Bitcoin is all about. So many of them are actually criticizing the coin and saying that this halving thing and it affecting the price is just crazy, because Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency market is just too volatile, blah blah blah. It's just criticism on top of criticism. And of course, on one end, people see this as a new technology. They understand why there's still so much volatility, uncertainty and mistakes here and there, but some projects are actually proving to be already successful. Some are making some deals with governments. I mean, if you make deals with such huge authority bodies, then that means whatever you're doing, you're really up to something, that basically you're on the right track, right? So the industry as well. Uh, and looking further into the article, well, it basically just further goes on and on about how, well, how the halving may impact the price, but also about how these critics are just basically saying that things are quite crazy in this industry. For example, many crypto experts have argued that in light of recent bull runs after halving events, there is a spike in the number of Bitcoin purchases. Now, with the likely outcome of the event already known, investors tend to pour in their monies, which is most likely to yield positive results after the halving, and then tend to fall back after they recoup their inevitable profits, leaving the markets in reds. So, yep, I guess that those people necessarily aren't real investors, right? They're just people that are riding on a wave, or rather short-term traders or short-term investors, I guess. Because if you really are into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and really for a second understood how the entire world is actually progressing or coming onto this technology from now onwards, of course it's still fairly slow. I mean, but look at China, for example. their president recently just announced that they're looking into blockchain technology. There's a very popular presidential app that also provides cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm not sure what other coin, basically education on those, right? So I see this as something that's, it's just part of the market. It's just how it is. Certain events affect prices. And yeah, even the last paragraph of the article says the Bitcoin market continues to evolve day after day. I'm sorry for that. And whether or not experts agree on why and how something happens in the market still doesn't take away the fact that the market is in for an insane bull run after the next halving event. Gentlemen and ladies, I also believe so. Of course, I've already bought my Bitcoin. I'm actually planning on buying some more. And well, since I'm an investor, really, I'm not going to worry about the short-term losses because they'll always come back, because this is an industry that's actually currently housing the best, really the next game-changing technology, right? So let me know what you guys think. I always get this tongue twisted. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that this coming halving event is also going to affect the Bitcoin price to go up? I don't know, but I personally think that it will. As an investor, as a believer in the technology, and of course, as just an advocate for financial inclusion, because hey, hello, I'm in Africa. I know what's happening with regards to many people being excluded financially because of how they can't afford to open banks. Some are unemployed. Some don't even have IDs. But I guess that can be another topic for another day. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about the Bitcoin halving event next year in May and how it's probably going to affect the prices. Is it going to go up? Are they going to come down? I'd like to hear that. In the case, this is CIA or Crypto in Africa. See you next time. Cheers.